Hi and welcome back to a new video. This is a different one to what I've done before. Today what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and fix the lad's Peugeot 207. It's got a problem with it and it completely broke down and zonked out earlier. It's reporting an issue with the ABS braking system, the engine management, all that kind of stuff, and it's completely drained the battery down. So I think the problem is actually either with the communications to the ABS module or it's a problem with the ABS module as well. This is purely by me looking online at Google. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get the car up, get the wheel off, we're going to test the ABS module, see if that's the problem, and then see if we can get this car fixed. First thing we're going to do is have a look at the battery. This is a brand new battery that I just put in yesterday. Now a healthy battery should report about 12.6 volts, and here we can see we've got 6.65, so the battery is drained. First thing I want to do is get the car started so I can show you what the actual problem is. So we've got these little battery starter packs, super useful. You can just connect that on there. And ABS problem, depollution system faulty, ABS braking system faulty. We have a couple of warning lights on the dash. So one thing we can do as well is we can just use a ODB2 reader. Let's just see as the code reader. Let's see if the car's actually telling us whether there's any faults or not. Now we can look at this app. So now we're connected to the OBD2 reader and we can get some information on the car. So what we can do is look at the diagnostic trouble codes. Let's select all of them. Press read. So we can see there's nothing specific about the ABS in here. We're just getting information on low voltage, throttle position copied, don't know what that means, vehicle speed sensor circuit malfunction, ignition coil circuit malfunction. Okay, so there's definitely something wrong with the electrics somewhere. I think it's probably all related. So yeah, based on videos I've seen, I think it's the ABS. So we're going to have a look at the ABS module and just see if that's a problem, but there's nothing more coming up here. Now we've got the wheel off, we can get the mud trim off here, and then we can get to the ABS modulator from this point. To make sure that the wiring is correct, what we're going to do is we're going to just check the ground, see if we get a higher reading. So we've got ground. Luckily I found someone local who's got a spare part in stock, so I took a ride over on my motorbike this morning with the new ABS pump and modulator, and we can fit that right now.
2 hours later. Later.
all done. That wasn't really too hard. What took the most amount of time was those fiddly little bolts around the pipe unions for the brake lines. That took a long time, a lot more time than I expected it to. However, we've got it done. So the next thing we need to do now, turn the car back on, and let's just check that those faults are no longer present. Okay, so looking at the board, ignition on. Okay, we've got a battery warning on the dash. Start up, let's see if we can get some power in. Clocks and everything is reset as expected. Oh, braking system faulty. So we might need to go into the ODB system again just to see if we need to clear off some codes and restart it. Okay, so we'll select them all. Let's clear everything. Done. Clear and complete. Click OK. So now if we read the codes, let's see what we get. We don't get anything. Please don't tell me voltage low. Ah, voltage low. It's not changed. Why not? Well, it turns out that the problem was not the ABS pump and modulator in the end. So we still get some problems. The battery is holding its charge. The car has been sitting here for a couple of days and it's still holding over 12 volts, which is good. Now, if I run the engine on idle, it will run for about 45 minutes and then it will cut out. The battery will have gone down to about 11 volts, so that suggests that it's not actually getting charge as the engine's running. The next thing is when I turn the car ignition on, the ignition light comes on, but as I rev the engine, the ignition light doesn't go off, which it should do. So this has led me to believe now that the problem is actually the alternator. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change the alternator and hope that fixes the problem. In the Peugeot, the alternator is right down there. So apparently it's a bit fiddly to get to. So we're going to have to take this off first, make some space here, undo these bolts, and then we need to pull it out and up. So that's what we've got to take on. And first thing I want to try and do is get it out. Right, I was just getting everything apart to try and bring the alternator out ready for when the new second-hand one arrives. But I've noticed something a little bit different, something that might be a more simple cause to the problem. If we take a close look down here, then we can see that there should be a belt that goes from the crank round the tensioner and onto the alternator, and then the engine spins the belt on the alternator, and then that charges the battery and provides the electricity. Now that belt is missing, so I'm going to assume that the belt snapped when the problem started, and maybe all I need to do is put a new belt on there rather than changing the whole alternator. So I think we'll try that first, and that will be a lot easier if that's the problem. Okay, here we are on a very wet and rainy day. I've got the wheel off on the driver's side front, I've got the mudguard off. So what we need to do is put the belt back on here. It needs to go around here, under here, over the alternator, up there, and then underneath this tensioner. So we need to lift this tensioner up out the way, and then we can run the belt around, lower that back down so it's nice and taut. Once again, the internet makes that look far more easy than it actually was. I'm not sure how good you're able to see what I did, but we moved the tensioner up out the way, which is hard work in itself. There is a little hole behind there you can stick a pin in. I wasn't actually able to get that in, and then the belt just runs around, sits in the grooves around here, and up to the top. So now when we start the engine, that should start to spin the alternator, and we should generate power. Lovely. So there we have it, everything is fixed, and it turns out that was the error. I have no idea if the ABS module was actually broken or not, but I'm going to leave it on anyway, so that's all good. We are still getting an error on the dashboard, which I think might be due to some water ingress, so maybe we'll take a look at that in the next video. But as it is, thank you very much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.